Hello guys, in this video we'll talk about steps to take after you have been selected as a DV lottery winner. What are the steps that you need to take from the moment you've been selected to the time that you get your green card in hand? First of all, if you have been selected for the 2025 DV lottery, congratulations, congratulations. That's a big win for you. That is a huge, huge win for you. So Sports Media, one of my followers says, Lucy, now that the DV program period has ended, what is your next title? So my next title is the steps to take after you've been selected. So that's what we are going to talk about today. If you have not checked your status, if you applied for the 2025 DV lottery and you have not checked your status, the place to go to check your status is dvprogram.state.gov and /ESC. ESC means entrance status check. So this is the place to go to check the status. So you'll be over here for the 2025 DV entrance. You have until September 30th, 2025 to check the state of the status of your entry through this website. The DV registration period for the 2025 is ended. It's ended already. So now what they're doing is the processing of the visas, going for visa interviews, completing the DS-260, all that stuff that we're going to talk about. So if you haven't checked the status, that is where you will go. And then once you click here, check status, you will get a message whether you did not succeed or if you succeeded, it will be a message to the effect of you have been randomly selected for further processing in the diversity immigrant visa program. So congratulations. After that, you will get, let me stop sharing this. After that, you'll get a case number. You will get a case number and you need to save that case number. You need to either write it down somewhere, save it on your phone, print it out, save it somewhere, because that is the number that you will need to correspond with Kentucky Consular Center, to correspond with the U.S. Department of State. Remember that email that you submitted, the email that you gave? That's the email that now Kentucky Consular Center and the U.S. Department of State will be communicating with. They will be using that email to reach out to you for further procedures, for further processes. So make sure that's an email that you have access to. Remember the password, because if not, you're going to miss out on a lot of hard deadlines and a lot of information that you will need to push your case forward to get your green card. So that's the first step. The first step is to check the status. The next step is, by the way, if you're in the US and you won the DV lottery, you can apply for what is called adjustment of status. So you don't have to go back to, for example, if you came from Kenya, you don't have to go back to Kenya to get your green card again, to start that process. You can adjust your status from here. If you came with a F1 visa, that's a student, or you came with a B1, B2 visa as a visitor, then you can apply for application of adjustment of status so that you can have your green card and become a permanent resident. So you need to go to uscis.gov for directions on how to adjust your status. It is very important to note that selection does not guarantee that you're going to get a visa, and that you have to meet all the eligibility requirements. You have to prove the education. Remember what we talked about? You have to prove the education. You have to prove the work experience if your education does not meet the minimum requirements. So just because you got a visa, and I don't mean to break your heart or anything, or rain on your parade, but winning the lottery is not a guarantee that you're going to get the visa. So don't start selling your houses and your property and your land. Just be sure to go through with the process until you get that visa in your hand. Okay. The next thing that you have to do is go to CEAC, some people call it CEAC, Consular Electronic Application Center. And you go there so that you can complete the DS-260. So what is the DS-260? It is the online application for an immigrant visa. Make sure that you print your confirmation number. So if we screen share again, we'll show you where to go to follow these steps. So as a matter of fact, you can just go to travel.state.gov, which is the US Department of State, and follow these steps. So this video is just going over these steps. So if you're able to, if you have access to the internet and to this page, just follow these steps and you'll be okay. But for the purpose of this video, I'm just gonna summarize what this page is all about. So the next step is to go to the Consular Electronic Application Center and complete the DS-260. I have a complete video on how to complete the DS-260, and I will link it to the description below for you, so you don't have to worry about it. So we're not going to go over the whole process because, like I said, you can watch the video. You can watch the video. That's what I meant to say. Once you complete the form, make sure that you sign and submit your DS-260. If your form is not signed, it will not go through. You re-enter your case number without the zeros. That's a tip. By the way, there are lots of tips in this video, so make sure you stay tuned. Subscribe, by the way, if you haven't, like and share the video. For example, if your case number is 2025 AF 0000-12345, just enter 2025 AF 12345. Don't put the zeros. This will avoid validation error message. Print the confirmation number because you will bring this confirmation page to your visa appointment. All right. If your circumstances have changed, by the way, if your circumstances have changed and, for example, you were not married before and now you're married, you did not have children, but now you have children, whether they were biological stepchildren or you adopted any children, then you can add that. Make sure it's a legitimate addition. Because then you have to upload the documents, the birth certificate, marriage license, adoption papers. If you have been separated legally, if you have been divorced, if you have been widowed, then you will need to upload proof of that. So make sure you have that information. The next thing that you have to do after completing the DS-260 and saving your confirmation page is to wait. This is where people start getting depressed, frustrated, and just questions going over their heads and wondering, when will I be called for the interview? So from the time that you complete the DS-260 is now a waiting game. You just wait, and as you wait, you can be putting your documents together. You can be, if you have a family, you can be getting the paperwork together, the birth certificates, the passports, the education paperwork for you as a main applicant, marriage license, if you're married, get all that paperwork together. After that, you will receive through email, you will receive an email, second notification letter. You'll receive an email saying that you have a message. So this email will let you know that an interview has been scheduled at the US Embassy or Consulate you selected on your DS-260. So you'll be instructed to log on into the Electronic Diversity Visa EDV website using your DV entry confirmation number to view the date, time, and location of your interview. So you're not going to get a phone call. You're not going to get anything in the mail to let you know that your interview is here. You're going to get an email and you'll be instructed where to go to check the date and the time of the of the interview. So once you receive that second notification letter, also referred to 2NL from KCC, then you follow the directions provided. You must print this information to take with you to the interview. This will be your visa appointment letter. So we have the passports for everybody. We have the confirmation number, the confirmation page for the DS-260. And now the third thing that we'll need to take to the interview is the visa appointment letter. So the visa issuance, by the way, depends on your case number. So the lower the case number, the sooner the visa appointment is going to be. Each month, the Department of State publishes the visa bulletin, and this visa bulletin is available at travel.state.gov. It's public knowledge, anyone can view it. The visa bulletin, you can view it. It's updated, I think, every month, and allocations are available for you depending on the case number. So you can look at your case number and see around and about when the interview will be. The next thing after that is to pay for your visa application fees. You can pay that online. Some people pay via M-Pesa if it's in Kenya, or you will get instructions on how to pay for your visa interview. The current diversity visa application fee is $330 per applicant. And I know this can be a very expensive venture, especially if you have family, but it's a good investment. At the end of it all, you will see the benefits. And I believe that the benefits outweigh the negatives. So however you need to get this money, borrow, contribute from family and friends, contributions, whatever you need to do, just try as hard as possible. And I know it's a lot of money with this economy and everything, but don't miss this opportunity to come to the US using the DV. So make sure you print your proof of payment. You will bring this to your visa interview. So that's the fourth thing that you're bringing, is the visa fee receipt. The payment receipt, you'll bring that as well. The fifth thing that you need to do, the fifth step, is to schedule and complete your medical examination. So the medical examination, you'll be notified where to go. It has to be a medical physician who has been approved by USCIS. You can't just go to any random provider. You have to go to one that is selected. So for Kenya, it's IOM. So the amount for that, I believe, is it ranges. It varies depending on the consulate or the country, but make sure that you have the fees for that for each family member. If you have any x-rays that had already been done or immunizations that had been done by your provider, you can take that along with to your appointment. Make sure you bring your passport, vaccination records, and visa interview letter to the medical appointment. If your medical exam report is given to you in a sealed envelope, please do not open that envelope. Make sure you bring it to the visa interview unopened. Most physicians will send the medical exam report directly to your embassy, so you don't have to worry about that. By the time you're getting to the interview, your medical exam will already be there. All right. The sixth thing, number 6, that you have to do, the sixth step, is gather your documents. If you didn't do that while you were waiting for the 2NL, make sure now you gather your documents, because now you have an appointment scheduled. So time is running out, and make sure these deadlines are like, you have to follow the deadlines. You have to follow these deadlines. Gather your required documents. The DS-260 confirmation page, your passport and passports of all the applicants, valid for at least 6 months. Birth certificates for all the applicants. Appointment information page that we talked about. Proof of diversity visa fee payment. We talked about that. Military records, if applicable. Marriage, divorce, legal separation papers, death certificate, if applicable. Make sure you bring that. Police clearance certificates. work experience if you don't qualify through education, proof of education for the main applicant, or proof of eligible work experience. And then adoption papers if applicable, if you have legally adopted children. So be sure to have your documents translated if they are not in English. The seventh thing, number 7, that you need to do is prepare for your interview. This is probably the most underrated step and yet one of the most important. Remember how you completed your DS-260? I would recommend that you print the whole thing or save it so that you can review it later prior to your interview. This is the time now you're reviewing the information in your DS-260. Most of your interview questions will come from this form, so practice answering common interview questions. This gives you confidence. This gives you, like, you can hear yourself answering the questions. It gives you confidence. Learn to sit up straight, look the person in the eye, and answer the questions. Remember to be honest, confident, and concise during your interview. Don't beat about the bush. Answer the questions the way they are asked. Number 8 is to attend your visa interview. Make sure you arrive early, dress appropriately, okay? Bring all the required documents listed on step 6 of this video. You, your spouse, and any qualified and married children immigrating with you must participate in the interview, unless they will be joining you at a later date, in which case they will be scheduled for a separate interview later. You can schedule that later if they're not coming with you. But remember, the immigrant visa is six months, is valid for 6 months. So if they're given a visa after you, that means the time continues to shrink. So you have about 6 months. Actually, you have 6 months to enter the US, get your green card, and then somehow go get them, bring them back with you. Okay, because they have to enter with you as the main applicant. They can't just come without you. I hope we are clear on that. You as the main applicant have to be present when they're coming. They cannot just come in by themselves. Here's another tip. If you need to reschedule your visa appointment, contact the US Embassy or Consulate as soon as possible. This is because under US law, all diversity visas for a fiscal year must be issued prior to September 30th. So for the 2025 DV winners, they have until September 2025 to arrive in the US. The US fiscal year begins October 1st of one calendar year to September 30th of the following year. So that's where that September 30th is coming into play. If approved for the visa, your passport will be mailed to you with the visa. The visa will be placed on a page in your passport. Okay. So when you receive your visa, review the printed information immediately. Check for errors with your name, your date of birth, stuff like that. Notify your embassy or consulate if any spelling or other errors are noted. You don't want to waste time. This is where the deadlines are coming in, because if you miss your deadlines, then you might miss the opportunity to come to the US. You will also receive a sealed packet with your documents that you must present at the US Customs and Border Protection, that is CBP, officer. So this envelope, don't open it. You will come to the US Port of Entry, New York, at Texas, wherever that you're coming to. You will give that envelope to the immigration officer at the Port of Entry. Do not open this packet. Please note that the diversity visa is valid for 6 months, so plan to arrive in the US before it expires. And then pay the US CIS immigration fee. I think at the production and uploading of this video, the green card fee is $235 per person. USCIS will not issue a permanent resident card or green card until the fee is paid. All right. By the way, at the interview, if you're denied the visa, they will let you know why. you are ineligible for the visa. If your visa application requires administrative processing, you will be notified. The duration of the administrative process will depend on individual case and circumstances. All right, so they'll notify you if you're denied, they'll notify you if they need further documentation, and they will notify you, obviously, if you have been approved, and they'll let you know when you can get your visa. The 10th and most important one is traveling to the US. So you must request permission to enter the US at the port of entry. A visa does not guarantee entry in the United States. We talked about that at the beginning of the video. The primary applicant must enter before or at the same time as family members with visas before the visa expire. Before the visas expires, or all the visas, if you have family, before all those visas expire, you guys should already be here. You will present your passport and the sealed packet to the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Officer at the port of entry. The officer has the authority to grant or deny you entry into the United States. If you're allowed to enter, you will be a permanent resident, also known as a green card holder, and will be permitted to work and live permanently in the US. If you have kids or if you're planning to go to school, you will also be permitted to go to school freely as a permanent resident. Your permanent resident card will be mailed to you at the address you provided in your DS-260. All right, so remember on the DS-260, they asked for the contact information of the person you're coming to or the person who's hosting you. That address is where they will send your green card. So make sure you have access. Don't just give a random address. All right, and that's it. That's it, guys. By following these steps, you're on your way to becoming a US permanent resident. I hope I didn't confuse you even more. I will make a shortened video with a step-by-step, like just a quick one with a summary of the steps you need to follow. If this is too long for you, I'll make a short one. Don't forget to like this video and share it with someone who might find it useful. Thank you so much for subscribing. We are at 8,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. I love you for subscribing, for sharing my videos, for liking and leaving comments. For you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.